Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
The day before yesterday, we had studied about the excretory system. So, I had not sended notes at present because my WhatsApp was hacked. So, I will wait again for today, and tomorrow I will join with you and I will send you notes. Okay. So that day we had studied about the kidney, structure of kidney we had seen. We had seen about the ureter, urinary bladder, urethra. Okay. Now, the functions which we had seen about kidney, the first function which we had seen, that was the formation of urine. So today I will teach you formation of urine, how this formation of urine takes place. But before that, here this process takes place, so that we had to study. And here, the structural and functional unit of kidney is nephron. So in each kidney, near about 1 to 1.5 billions, millions nephrons are present. And these nephrons, in this nephron, urine formation process takes place. So firstly, we will study about the nephron, structure of nephron, and then we will study about the mechanism of urine formation, or we can say physiology of urine formation, or the function which this kidney is performed. Okay, so let's start now. So I'm going to draw structure about of nephron. So this nephron, they are also called as uriniferous tubules, because here collecting duct is attached to this nephron. So they are also called as uriniferous tubule. They are very microscopical structure. But if we will join these nephrons to each other, to near about 65 kilometers, they can form the length. So that much nephrons are present. And in general, each nephron, they have 65 micrometer in length. Okay. So let's see now structure of nephron. So this is nephron. Okay. So this nephron mainly consists of, is it visible or not? Visible or not?
Ma'am, visible.
So this is structure of nephron. Huh? This nephron, it is divided mainly into two parts. This part, okay, it is called as Malpighian body. It is called as Malpighian body, and from this part to this, it is called as renal tubule. Let's see one by one. The first one we will see, that is the Malpighian body. So that day I had told you, this kidney, it get divided into two parts. The outer part is called as cortex and the inner part is called as medulla. And that day I had told you that outer part, it is granulated in structure. Why it is granulated? Because of presence of this Malpighian body and the convoluted tubule. So that these are the convoluted tubules, and because of it, that renal cortex, it look like a granulated structure. ये तो माइक्रोस्कोपिकल है, तो सिर्फ हमको जो है वो डॉट डॉट दिखते हैं, तो इसीलिए हम उसको जो है ग्रेन्युलेटेड स्ट्रक्चर कहते हैं. ठीक है. तो माल्पीजियन बॉडी ये कॉर्टेक्स रीजन में प्रेजेंट है. इट इज प्रेजेंट इन द रीनल कॉर्टेक्स एंड इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ टू पार्ट. ठीक है. वन इज दिस वन, ग्लोमेरुलस, and this part is called as Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule. ठीक है. तो firstly we will say about the glomerulus. This glomerulus, it is nothing but the tuft of capillaries. तो tuft of capillaries means आप लोगों को जैसे ये जो ऊन होता है, वुल जो है, तो उसका जब गुत्था होता है या कोई थ्रेड है, उसका जब गुत्था हो जाता है तो वो कैसे दिखेगा? तो वैसे ही जब कैपिलरीज जो है, ये कैपिलरीज का जो गुत्था होता है उसको हम कहेंगे टफ्ट ऑफ कैपिलरीज, और ये टफ्ट ऑफ कैपिलरीज बोले तो वो ग्लोमेरुलस. तो ये कैसे फॉर्म हुआ? तो देखो, रीनल आर्टरी मैंने दिखाया था कि वो हाइलम से अंदर जा रही है. रीनल आर्टरी व्हेन इट विल एंटर, so that will divide and redivide into arterioles. तो वो arterioles जो है, here afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole is there. Afferent and efferent arteriole is there. Okay. Afferent arteriole enter into the Bowman's capsule, that is called as afferent arteriole, and the arteriole which will leave, that is called as efferent arteriole. ठीक है. अब ये afferent arteriole, it is nothing but the branch of renal artery. ठीक है. So this afferent arteriole, it is enter into the this cup-shaped part of Bowman's capsule. It will continuously divide and redivide. Okay, and because of it, the capillaries will form, and these capillaries, they will mix with each other, which will form the tuft of capillaries. Now these capillaries again they get unite, and then they will form the efferent arteriole. So from afferent arteriole the blood will enter, and from efferent arteriole the blood will leaves up. Okay. So the capillaries which are present in this glomerulus, they are 100 times more porous than the capillaries which are present all over the body. हमारे बॉडी में जितने भी capillaries हैं, so they are porous. I had already taught you, and as they are porous, the transportation or exchanging of material takes place through that porous part. So these are 1000 times more porous, 1000 times more porous than other. Okay, and because of it, this glomerulus, it will help in ultrafiltration process, which is the first step of urine formation. Do you understood better? Okay. So this, the main function of this glomerulus is it keeps the blood under pressure so that ultrafiltration process takes place, which is the first step of urine formation. Now the second part. So this is the Bowman's capsule. So let's see about the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, it is the broadest part of this nephron. This Bowman's capsule, look here. So this Bowman capsule, as I had just now told you, it is the broadest part. Internally, it consists of two layers. One is parietal layer and the second is visceral layer. So here, the parietal layer, it is made up of squamous epithelium, and the visceral layer, it contains some special type of cells which we call it as podocytes. Here, columnar, ciliated columnar epithelium is there. So this is the parietal layer actually. Parietal means outer layer. And the inner layer, which is attached to the organ, viscera means organs. So the layer which is attached to particular organ, that is called as visceral layer. And here, in this Bowman's capsule, visceral layer consists of special types of cells, which we call it as podocyte. So these podocytes, they look like a horseshoe. Okay. So what is the function of this podocyte? So they will form a diaphragm slit. जब हमको चाय छाननी होती है तो हमको छन्नी लगेगी ना, तो वैसे ही ये जो है तो it will form a diaphragm slit so that the ultrafiltration process will take place, which is, I had already told you, it is the first step of urine formation. Okay. There is space present in between this visceral layer and the parietal. That space is called as renal space. उस space को हम renal space कहते हैं, and this renal space, it will continue in this renal tubule. वो renal tubule में continue रहेगी. ठीक है? So do you understood about this? So both glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, they will participate in the ultrafiltration process, which is the first step of urine formation. Now let's see about the renal tubule. ठीक है? अब renal tubule की बात करते हैं, तो renal tubule, it is a tube-like structure, ठीक है? Which is arises from the neck of Bowman's capsule. This is the neck of Bowman's capsule, and from neck of Bowman's capsule, this renal tubule arises. This renal tubule consists of 4 parts. What are they? So this part, it is called as proximal convoluted tubule. Okay. This part is called as loop of Henle. This part is called as distal convoluted tubule, and this is collecting. Then here, collecting tubule is there. Collecting tubule, this collecting tubule, these all are the collecting tubule, and these collecting tubule, they will form the collecting duct. These 4 parts, they are present in the renal tubule. What are they? Proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and connecting tubule. So let's see one by one. So this proximal convoluted tubule, it is highly coiled structure. Okay, it is highly coiled structure, बहुत ज्यादा गुथा हुआ होता है. अब हमको ये पता है कि अगर हमारा पाइप जो है तो वो मुड़ जाए तो क्या होता है, तो डेफिनेटली आगे तो जो है पानी तो बहना नहीं है. फिर अगर ये हाईली coiled स्ट्रक्चर है तो हाउ कैन द यूरिन विल पास. तो यहाँ पर जो है ये proximal convoluted tubule, this part, it is present in the cortex region, and it contains ciliated epithelium. As it contains ciliated epithelium, so definitely here, though it is highly coiled structure, so due to ciliary movements, the urine will pass like this. Okay. Then what is the function of this proximal convoluted tubule? So the main function of this proximal convoluted tubule is here reabsorption process takes place. So as we know in the urine में क्या रहेगा? तो यूरिन में वेस्ट मटेरियल है, नॉट द यूजफुल, है ना? तो whatever useful things are there which was required for our body that get reabsorbed. So mainly glucose which is not passed out to urine unless and until we are getting suffered from the diabetes. अगर हम डायबिटीज से सफर होते हैं then and then only the glucose will pass, क्योंकि एक्सेस में हो जाएगी ग्लूकोज. अदरवाइज हमारे बॉडी से ग्लूकोज पास नहीं होती है. अगर ये ग्लूकोज पास नहीं होती है तो इट विल गेट एब्जॉर्ब. तो मैक्सिमम ग्लूकोज एब्जॉर्प्शन जो है ग्लूकोज का, मिनरल्स का, तो वो कहाँ पे होता है? तो वो होता है proximal convoluted tubules. ठीक है? Now this proximal convoluted tubule it will continue as a loop of Henle. अब ये जो loop of Henle है, how it look? It look like a U shape. It is U shape structure and it is present in the medulla. It is not present in the cortex region. It is present in the medulla. So here the part which is continue as a proximal convoluted tubule, that part is called as it comes down now, it is called as descending limb. Descending limb of loop of Henle. Okay, so this descending limb, it is quite thick. As it is thick, so it will permit only salts. It will not permit water. Okay, so here again reabsorption process takes place, but here in the descending limb reabsorption of only salt will take place, not the water. This the part which is going upward, so this part is called as ascending limb. This is ascending limb. So as compared to descending limb, ascending limb is thin. As it is thin, so it will permit water, but it will not permit salt. तो यहाँ पर जो है reabsorption of water takes place in this ascending limb of loop of Henle. That means जो loop of Henle है, तो वहां पर कौन सी function perform होने वाला है? तो only reabsorption of salt and water, not glucose. And glucose was so this distal convoluted tubule, it is present again in the cortex region. ये भी cortex region में present. अब यहाँ पर ये cortex region में present है. It is less coil than as compared to the proximal convoluted tubule. अब मैंने कहा था कि proximal convoluted tubule highly coiled structure है. As it is highly coiled structure, so to push the urine, it needs energy, and because of it, it is this proximal convoluted tubule, it is richly supplied with mitochondria as compared to distal convoluted. And distal convoluted tubule, it is less coiled. I had already told, but still it contains ciliated epithelium, ciliated columnar epitheliums are present. Okay, so whatever glucose remain in the urine or salts which are remain in the urine, or how much urine should get passed out from the body, so that all decision takes place in this DCT. DCT means distal convoluted tubule. तो ये सब जजमेंट जो है तो यहाँ पे होगा, मीन्स whatever glucose is remain, जो glucose remain थी तो वो reabsorb हो जाएगी, water reabsorb हो जाएगा, minerals जो बचे थे, और as per the weather changes, मैंने पहले भी बताया था ऑस्मो रेगुलेशन जो होता है किडनी का एक फंक्शन है, तो उसमें वाटर और सॉल्ट का जो है तो बैलेंसिंग होता है हमारे बॉडी में, एंड दैट बैलेंसिंग, that judgment कि how much urine should get passed out from the body, that takes place in the DCT, distal convoluted tubule. Now this distal convoluted tubule, they will continue as a collecting tubule. This collecting tubule, they will get unite and they will form collecting duct. This collecting duct, we can see, we had already seen that day the pyramid. So in this pyramid, these lines which we can see, these are nothing but the collecting duct. And these collecting duct, they get unite to form the duct of Bailey. That day I had told you, day before yesterday, when I had taken your class, that day I had told you about this. So here, during the reabsorption processes, most of the time what happened, the urea, which is not useful, that is harmful for us, that is the waste, but still it get reabsorbed. So that urea, it will come into this renal tubule. So that process is called as tubular secretion, and this tubular secretion takes place in the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so in this way, this structure of nephron will do their function. Do you understood, beta?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understood
Yes, ma'am.
all the parts? Now, let's see about the mechanism, how the mechanism process takes place. Okay, so here, whenever we do any experiment or the process, so that times some raw materials are required, है ना? तो रॉ मटेरियल की जरूरत पड़ती है, तो वो रॉ मटेरियल यूरिन फॉर्मेशन के लिए क्या है, तो दैट इज द ब्लड. अब ब्लड जो है, तो you had already studied about the blood, you had already studied about the functions of blood. So you know that this blood, it contains most of the water, it contains all the nutrients. It will contain glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, vitamins, minerals. It contains enzymes which are required for biochemical processes. It contains hormones, antibodies. It will contain some plasma proteins, albumin, globulin, prothrombin, fibrinogen. It will contain oxygen, carbon dioxide. Besides this, it will also contain some metabolic waste like urea, uric acid, creatinine, ammonia. Okay, so that all is carried to this blood. Do you understood? So blood, it is the raw material for the formation of urine. अब यहाँ पर जो है, so for formation of urine, 3 steps are in. The first step is the ultrafiltration. The second step is the selective reabsorption, and the third step is the tubular secretion. So let's see one by one. What do you mean by ultrafiltration? So what do you mean by ultra? Ultra means minutely. बहुत यानी जब कम इसमें किया जाता है, बहुत जब minutely किया जाता है, तो that is ultra. ठीक है? And filtration, you know, filtration means छानना. So ultrafiltration, the filtration of blood under high osmotic pressure is called as ultrafiltration. So here where this ultrafiltration process takes place. So ultrafiltration process takes place in the Malpighian body. That means in the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule. We had already seen, है ना? So the question arises, why this ultrafiltration process takes? So here, see, अगर हम जो है तो एक टैंक की बात करते हैं, एक टैंक में जो है तो एक टैप लगा हुआ है, एक टैप, वो जो टैप लगा हुआ है तो उसमें उससे पानी भरा जाएगा और एक जो है तो उसमें से पानी निकालने के लिए छोटा सा और एक टैप लगा हुआ, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पर जो है अगर ऊपर वाला जो टैप जो फिल कर रहा है टैंक को, तो उसका लुमेन बड़ा है और जो नीचे लगा हुआ है जिसमें से हम पानी निकाल रहे हैं उसका लुमेन छोटा सा है, तो क्या होगा बताओ? टैंक जल्दी से खाली होगा क्या? नहीं होगा, वो फिल होते जाए, है ना? क्यों? क्योंकि ऊपर से जो पानी आ रहा है तो वो फोर्सफुली आ रहा है, ज्यादा आ रहा है, और जो बाहर जाने वाला है तो वो कम क्वांटिटी में जा रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली वहां पे डिपॉजिट, ठीक है। बस ऐसे ही यहाँ पर होता है। यहाँ जो है द ल्यूमेन ऑफ afferent arteriole दैट इज बिगर, ये जो afferent arteriole है इसका ल्यूमेन बड़ा होता है एज कंपेयर टू efferent arteriole। So definitely from afferent arteriole, lot of blood will come into the glomerulus, okay, and less blood will leaves away, बहुत कम जो है तो वो जाएगा बाहर, and because of it what will happen, तो blood, अभी जैसा मैंने टाइम की बात की तो वैसे ही यहाँ पे होगा कि lot of blood will accumulate into this glomerulus. As the lot of blood will accumulate, so here hydrostatic pressure will create. As this hydrostatic pressure will create, so due to which there will be change in the osmotic pressure. जो blood आ रहा है, जो blood वहां पे है, उनमें osmotic pressure में changes आ जाए, and because of it, the ultrafiltration process will take place. प्रेशर अप्लाई होगा ना, प्रेशर अप्लाई होगा तो फिल्ट्रेशन की प्रोसेस, ठीक है। जैसे यहाँ पर जो है तो पोडोसाइट, आई हैड ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू कि पोडोसाइट दे विल फॉर्म द डायफ्राम स्लिट। तो जैसे चाय छाननी है तो छन्नी की जरूरत है, अब वो जो छन्नी है तो बस वो काम कौन करने वाला है, तो वो काम करने वाला है डायफ्राम और पोडोसाइट्स, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पर सेकेंड रीजन ऐसा है कि I had already told you the capillaries of these glomerulus, they are 1000 times more porous. अरे बेटा अगर छन्नी में ब्लॉक है तो नीचे चाय छन्नी नहीं जाएगी, लेकिन अगर वहां पर जो है तो होल्स बहुत सारे हैं और क्लीन है, एकदम क्लियर है, तो तुरंत चाय छानी जाए, होगा ना ऐसी। तो लाइक दैट हियर these capillaries which are present in the glomerulus, they are highly porous, and due to which this ultrafiltration process will take place. So one reason, lumen of afferent arteriole, it is larger than the lumen of the efferent arteriole, and because of it lot of blood will accumulate into the glomerulus. This is the first reason. And the second reason is the capillaries present in the glomerulus, they are highly porous, ठीक है। तो ये दो रीजन के वजह से अल्ट्राफिल्ट्रेशन हो। नाउ आई एम कंपेयरिंग अगेन इट विद द टी, चाय जो पीते हैं हम, इसी से मैं कंपेयर कर। तो देखो चाय जब अपन छानते हैं, चाय क्यों छानी जा रही है, ताकि जो भी टी लीव्स जो है, तो इट शुड नॉट एंटर, वो हमारे इसमें एंटर नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि जब हम सीप लेंगे उसका तो दे में इरिटेट, हमको इरिटेट कर सकते हैं, या कहीं पर जाकर जो है तो हमारा ब्लॉक हो सकते हैं। तो इसीलिए हमने चाय छानी, बराबर ना। तो जब चाय छानी तो उस समय में कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जो टी लीव्स की छोटे छोटे पार्टिकल्स होते हैं, दैट में एंटर इनटू आवर कप, हमारे कप में आ जाते हैं, लेकिन जो बिगर पार्टिकल्स होते हैं तो दैट विल रिमेन ऑन द दैट स्लीव, जो सीव होता है यानी जो छन्नी है उसके ऊपर में रह जाता है, सीव के ऊपर, ठीक है। तो वैसे ही अगेन ड्यूरिंग दिस अल्ट्राफिल्ट्रेशन प्रोसेस द सेम थिंग विल, तो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, यहाँ पर जो है जो पार्टिकल्स बिगर है, मीन्स which one are bigger, so RBCs which are present in the blood, WBCs, fat globules, these again plasma proteins, these particles they are bigger in size. As they are bigger in size, so they will not get filtered out. But what about the others, like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, some minerals? Their size is smaller, and so they easily get filtered, and they will deposit into this Bowman's capsule. वो Bowman's capsule में deposit हो जाए। तो जो है this is the first step of urine formation na. So this urine, it is called as either glomerular filtrate or primary urine, or it is also called as deproteinized plasma. D means no, or a protein. So what is not present here, the protein is not present here, and that's why we call it as deproteinized. ठीक है। अब यहाँ पर deproteinized plasma जो है तो वो present है, but this deproteinized plasma it contain glucose, amino acids, it contains calcium, it contains sodium, chlorine, and all that which are required for our body. Then, so definitely the next process will be selective reabsorption. So next process जो होगी, so that is the selective reabsorption. So what do you mean by selective reabsorption? Whatever essential substances are there which are being escaped out during ultrafiltration process, that should get written back into the circulation, and that process is called as selective reabsorption. Selective यानी आप समझ में आ रहा है कि word selective means particular and reabsorption means वापस से reabsorb, and that's why that process is called as reabsorption. So in this reabsorption process, what will happen now? So I had already told you structure of nephron, and here the reabsorption of what process takes place. So maximum reabsorption of glucose, which is essential for our body for energy, so that get reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. Beside this, some minerals they also get reabsorbed, like calcium, sodium, chloride ions. Sodium is required for alertness of our brain. Zinc is required for muscle strength. So calcium, you know the role of calcium, which is required for the bones. So definitely all these minerals they should get reabsorbed. So most of the reabsorption process takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule, either actively or passive. Okay, so actively, when it will be along the concentration gradient, and passively against the concentration gradient, यानी जो खींच के लाया जाए, ठीक है। तो इस तरह से reabsorption हुआ, कहाँ पर हुआ, तो proximal convoluted tubule में. Now that urine will enter into the descending limb of loop of Henle. So here again some amount of salts will get reabsorbed. When it will enter into the ascending limb of loop of inlet, so again some amount of water will reabsorb. Like that, it will reach into the distal convoluted tube. So when it will reach into the distal convoluted tubule, so the remaining glucose, the remaining hydrogen carbonate or carbonate or sodium, chloride, all these mineral ions they get reabsorbed. Okay, but what happened when the reabsorption process takes place from this renal tubule into the capillaries? So that time, some amount of urea that is also reabsorbed. Or sometimes during ultrafiltration process, the urea may get escaped. कुछ जो है तो यूरिया या क्रिएटिनिन which are harmful for our body that may get escaped out. अगर वो escape हो गया, that will harmful for our body. So definitely that should get come back into the renal tubule. So that come back into the renal tubule. So which part? In this distal convoluted tube. So that process is called as tubular secretion. So what do you mean by tubular secretion? The harmful substances which should not, which should be escaped out from our body, that get reabsorbed during the selective reabsorption process. So they should come back again into the renal tubule. That process is called as tubular secretion, and this tubular secretion process takes place in the distal convoluted tube. So in this way, the urea, creatinine, or the other harmful substances, they will enter into the distal convoluted tubule, and from distal convoluted tubule, the final judgment process takes place. Just before, when I had told you about the function of the distal convoluted tubule, that time I had told you. So the final judgment takes place in the distal convoluted tubule. From distal convoluted tubule, the blood will enter into the collecting tubule. From collecting tubule, from different collecting tubules of different nephron, they will join with the collecting duct. From this collecting duct, the urine will enter into the renal pelvis. Day before yesterday, I had told you about it. So that will deposit into the renal pelvis first. From renal pelvis, it will carry by peristaltic movement to ureter and will deposit into the urinary bladder. When it will deposit into the urinary bladder, so we may get urge to pass this urine, but we can control here because we have a sphincter muscles on the urethra which are voluntary, so we can control them and then we pass it. So in this way, the mechanism of urine formation process. Do you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Girls,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
always remember कि urine, the normal urine, it is slightly yellowish in appearance. Why it is slightly yellowish in appearance? Because of presence of urochrome. Urochrome crystals are there, and because of it, they contain, they are slightly yellowish, and they have a ammoniac smell. अमोनिया की स्मेल होती है हमारे यूरिन को. इसका जो pH होता है, तो that is slightly alkaline, 7.4 होता है. When अगर water intake कम हो जाए, तो the urine will become concentrated. So definitely its pH will reduce and it will become acidic. As it will become acidic, so we may get burning into the urethra when we pass urine. Okay, so for that we have to take continuous water. We have to drink water so that our urine will become diluted and it will not harm the urethra. And in the normal urine, there will be no glucose, only urea. It will be present in larger amount. Very little uric acid will be present. It contains small amount of ammonia, which will excrete out. Okay? There will be no any vitamins or minerals, or there will be no glucose. But if the glucose is present, so definitely we are suffering from diabetes mellitus. If the RBCs will present, so I had already told you that during ultrafiltration, RBC will not filtered out. So if they are getting filtered out, so we may have a renal stone. हमको renal stone हो सकता है, यानी kidney stone जो कहा जाता है वो हो सकता है, या फिर कोई अदर इन्फेक्शन भी हो सकता है. तो इस तरह से और if the albumin is present, or if the pus cells are present, so if pus cells are present, then we may have any infection. Albumin is present, so that means it is the buffer action is not going on properly. So there may be dysfunctioning in the kidney. तो इस तरह से हम लोग जो है तो normal composition से judgment. Okay, do you understood, beta? Which topic is remain? Let me see. I had explained you structure and function of organ of urinary system, mechanism of urine formation. I had told you. Now the diseases we have to study: renal stone and urinary tract infection. Then structure and function of skin, regulation of body temperature, acne, dandruff, burn. Okay, so tomorrow I will complete all these things. It will be finished. Okay. Do you understood or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have to wait for at least 1 or 2 days for your notes. But if you have any book, so you can go through it. Okay. Thank you, beta.